On ITV1 now, a summary of the news from Katie Derham.
Good morning. Paul Burrell has spoken today for the first time since the collapse of his trial. He thanked all the people who'd supported him throughout his ordeal. Questions about who knew what and when are still being asked, and the Lord Chancellor, Lord Irvine, is facing calls to investigate the Queen's role in the collapse of the trial. Mr. Burrell called a London radio station and said he was eager to tell his side of the story.
Well, I do want to come out and tell you what's happened to me. But the best person to ask, of course, is Dave Warwick, my agent, and he's sorting everything out for me. And please let me come soon, because you know, I have got a great story to tell.
5 men arrested over an alleged plan to abduct Victoria Beckham will appear before magistrates today to face charges unrelated to the kidnap allegations. Inquiries into the plot are continuing. Security around the Beckhams is already being stepped up after the scare, including police guards at the couple's homes. 12 British plane spotters have returned to Greece to appeal against their conviction for spying. They were accused of obtaining state secrets at a military airbase while they were practicing their hobby. They say they're determined to clear their names, but if the appeal fails, they could end up in jail. That's it. I'll be back with more in an hour. And again for the lunchtime news at 12:30. Till then, goodbye.
Good morning. More than 50 families have now contacted the police saying they have concerns over the death of loved ones at Gosport War Memorial Hospital. A press conference was held this morning by Alexander Harris, the solicitors representing the families. Previously, the lawyers have been involved in both the Harold Shipman and Beverly Allitt cases. Elsie Devine died at the War Memorial Hospital, and her daughter says she's determined to find out why.
Somebody has got to be made accountable for the abuse and cruelty that happened to my mother. And I won't rest until somebody's made accountable.
Those involved have spoken of neglect on the wards, while an investigation by the Commission for Health Improvement said there was excessive use of pain-relieving and sedative drugs. 27 families have now joined the Gosport War Memorial Action Group. Another 30 have contacted the police. The legal appeal begins today of a Sussex plane spotter found guilty, along with 11 others, of spying in Greece. Chris Wilson from Horsham flew back to the country at the weekend. If the appeal fails, they could face up to 3 years behind bars.
1 year on, and the future of 12 British plane spotters still hangs in the balance. On Saturday, Chris Wilson from Horsham joined his companions and flew back to the country where their ill-fated holiday took place. All were arrested at the Kalamata military airbase after being accused of spying. 6 were convicted and given 3-year jail sentences. The others were found guilty of aiding and abetting and given 1 year suspended sentences. Under Greek law, the appeal court could overturn their convictions, reduce their sentences or force them to serve tougher jail terms.
We do have a lot of anxiety about going back, but we have no choice. We will explain once again exactly what we do, why we do it, and hopefully they'll listen this time.
Their fate now lies in the hands of the Greek authorities. Amanda Piper from Meridian News.
A post-mortem will take place this week on the body of a man washed up in Dorset. The remains were discovered by walkers near Portland Beach Road yesterday morning. Police have yet to identify the man, but are not treating the death as suspicious. Governors at a private school damaged by an arson attack last week are considering buying CCTV cameras. Staff at King's Primary School in West End, near Southampton, say that before the blaze they were having problems with vandals. The governors are now discussing the idea of security cameras. Hampshire's police authority have voiced their concerns over government plans to cut their funding. They've warned people that proposed changes in the way policing is paid for could result in a £10.4 million shortfall or an increase in council tax. Children living in Ryde on the Isle of Wight are being given free smoke alarms as part of a new initiative by local firefighters. Retained crews have raised £12,000 to fund the project. It encourages children to think about fire safety.
Then on Monday, put your thumbs up, press the little button, and it works. A lesson in saving their own lives. All school-aged children in Ryde are being given smoke alarms for their bedrooms as part of a new scheme started by local firefighters. In the past year, £12,000 has been raised to supply around 4,000 of the units.
We've had letters coming in at the fire station, personal letters from children thanking us for their smoke detectors. Also from parents on Isle of Wight Radio, listening to Isle of Wight Radio phoning. People have been phoning and say thank you for the smoke detectors. It's been a really good response.
As part of the lesson, one firefighter recalled an incident on Christmas Eve in 1989 when two sisters aged 4 and 5 died in a Ryde flat from smoke inhalation. Crews hope the distribution of these smoke alarms will prevent that ever happening again. They may now have their free smoke alarms, but crews have vowed to be back next year to give away replacement batteries for every unit they've given out. Dave Russell in Ryde for Meridian News.
The parents of a missing Hampshire teenager are backing a play which will reconstruct the disappearance of their son. 15-year-old Daniel Nolan vanished on New Year's Day after a late-night fishing trip on the River Hamble near Southampton. Investigations have so far been unsuccessful into his whereabouts. The play, called Dan Nolan Missing, will be performed by the Oaklands Youth Theatre. And the Mayflower Theatre in Southampton is to have a £2 million makeover. It will close for 4 months from next May. Work will include levelling the stage and removing around 100 seats. A new report has revealed that Brighton is one of the worst places in the country for credit card fraud. Well, if you've been a victim of this crime, we'd like to hear from you. Please call our newsroom on 023 8071 2007. Well, that's all from the newsroom for now. We'll be back with our lunchtime bulletin at 12:50. And do remember to join us for Meridian tonight when we go to the zoo to meet this week's local hero who's been nominated by one of his colleagues. And watch out for an unexpected incident. That's on Meridian tonight, live at 6. But in the meantime, you can, of course, find the latest headlines on our website, meridiantv.com.
Meridian weather sponsored by Sea France. Dover-Calais ferries.
It's going to be dry in most places today with some sunny spells, just the chance of a light shower in the west of the region. Top temperatures around 13 or 14 Celsius this afternoon. 14 is 57 Fahrenheit and the winds will stay very light. Those scattered showers in the west will turn to rather more widespread outbreaks of rain in the west overnight tonight, but most of it again will be fairly light, with the east staying dry until the very end of the night. Lowest temperatures in the east down to around 6 degrees. And then tomorrow, rather a cloudy start for many people, with that patchy rain edging further east, but gradually fizzling out through the day. And most places will be dry again by tomorrow afternoon, with 1 or 2 sunny spells and temperatures back around 13. That's the mid-50s Fahrenheit.